Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Welcome everybody who's following live with us on Facebook here. And today we're going to be discussing an important topic, something that I talk about a lot with my clients as we move forward, and especially after they buy a house, even fresh out of the house. I'm always reminding them and telling them, hey guys, it's very important now that you're in the house to keep your house list ready. And then I explain to them why that's important. So let's dive into this topic a little bit. And I want to share with you some stories and address this question and give you hopefully some helpful answers that will help you if you're in that situation or you're thinking about that. If you are someone that's thinking about purchasing a house in the near future, or you are someone currently owning a house, this is going to be an important podcast for you. And definitely some questions that hopefully I'll address that you may be thinking. And so I want to talk about first of all the first question. Okay, what does it mean for me to have my house list ready? Right? Like, what do we mean by that when we say that? And it's pretty simple if you think about it. But I'll break it down for you here for a little bit. And what that means is basically that your house is always in a condition to sell. So if God forbid you needed to sell right away, maybe there's just a couple things or a couple updates that you need to make that it will take a weekend or something like that. No more than probably like a couple weeks, because then people find themselves in the position, right, moving on down the road, where they don't get as much for their house because the updates weren't made, or it's not comparable to what has been selling in the neighborhood because of the updates that their neighbors have sold and those types of things. So we always want you to get top dollar for your house, and but that means that there's got to be some effort on your part as well as you continue to take care of your house and maintain your house. Okay, I want to run through a couple things that some people always bring up in conversations like this, and so that hopefully we can address some of those issues for you and those questions. Such as, okay, a lot of people are like, well, we put a new roof on, we poured a new driveway, those are kind of the main things. We replaced our HVAC system, so the heater and the air conditioner is like brand new or it's a couple years old. Those are all things that help. Another big one is like landscaping, right? Like we did a whole bunch of landscaping and we paid like $20,000 to make it look all pretty, and those are all great things, okay? I want you to understand that from a selling standpoint, that I'm not ever going to recommend not doing those things, right? Like, it's always good to have your HVAC updated. It's always good to replace a roof if it needs to be replaced, siding if it needs to be replaced, a new deck if it needs to be replaced, right? All those things are good things, right? That's going to entice a buyer someday to come purchase your property, okay? Like, they're going to enjoy the fact that they can move into that house and not have to address those issues. But let me be clear, those are maintenance issues, okay? Those are things that every homeowner should be doing to their houses. Now again, I know not everybody does that. I know that there's some people out there that they'll make an insurance claim, right? And they pocket the money and they don't make the updates or the changes that should have been made, right? And then you run into issues. But the majority of people I'm speaking to in this situation are people that I think will take care of their homes, right, and they'll do the right thing. And so when I'm talking to you about those kind of things, keep in mind that those things are maintenance issues, okay? Roofs, landscaping, pouring a new driveway, replacing some of the sidewalk out front, replacing the siding, replacing the HVAC. Those are all things that are maintenance items. Again, they're good items and they're good things to do, but those don't necessarily add value to your property. Again, it may entice a buyer to purchase your property later on down the road because they're newer items, right? And they're newer things that hopefully they won't have to address for a long time. So that helps them out. But again, that doesn't always add value, okay? Here's what I want to talk about, and that is what does add value, okay? What is gonna add value to that home as you move into it? And this is where we'll move into what does it mean to keep your house list ready or show ready, okay? What I mean by that is, let's say that, for example, your husband or your wife or whoever that you are in with the house ends up getting a job elsewhere, right? And you've got to put the house back up on the market. This has happened numerous times in situations with me where I help someone purchase a house. 6 months later, 12 months later, 18 months later, they're calling me and they're saying, Ryan, unfortunately, we don't want to do this, but we're going to do this because we're moving into a new city or a new state, and we need to put our house up back on the market, even though we just purchased it shortly, not too long ago. So like this happens all the time. And so what I mean by addressing this issue is we need to be aware of what I mean by having your house show ready. Now, obviously, in some of those cases, there's not a lot that you can do if you purchased that house and it was move-in ready to begin with, right? But if you purchased that house and there were things that needed to get updated, this is why I highly recommend doing those updates not very long after you get moved into the house if you have the funds available, okay? So for example, right, like let's think about like fresh paint, right? Does fresh paint necessarily provide value to your home? No, but it keeps it show ready and it keeps it list ready. So in case you were to list the house, your house would be freshly painted, it would be new, and it would have that new home smell to it, right? Or that fresh coat of paint when somebody like walks into the house. The other thing that it does is it makes things pop, right? So like when a home buyer comes into that house, they're immediately, one, hit with the smell of new paint or new things in the house. Another thing that goes along with that is like new floors, like carpet or wood floors or things like that, like something that grabs the attention of that buyer as they come in with that smell, right? And then, their eyes are directed to a lot of these other things. So if you have fresh paint, if you have fresh carpet, if you have fresh new floors, that's going to draw the attention, right? Those things will add a little bit of value to your house, and an appraiser will take those things into consideration. Okay, so thinking through what are other things that I can do that I need to do, to keep my house show ready. So a lot of people, and what I tell a lot of people is like your bathrooms and your kitchen for sure. Like you want something to be the wow factor for people when they come into your house, right? So maybe that's new backsplash in the kitchen. Maybe that's a new tiled shower in the bathroom. Maybe it's painting the cabinets. Maybe it's putting in new countertops. Maybe it's knocking out a wall and opening it up and putting some new flooring in there and putting in an island. Whatever that may be, that might be something to think about as you're purchasing the home and then as you're going to be continuing to live there. And then another thing to do is keep an eye on the houses that are selling in your neighborhood. So another good thing to remember is, okay, if your neighbor's house just sold for a certain amount and it's well over what you paid for, it's $20,000 more than what you paid for, look at the pictures online. Look at it, compare it to your house and say, okay, if we want to get $20,000 more, we want to get $30,000 more, whatever that number is more, what do we need to do to our house in comparison to what just sold down the street, right? So you can be asking yourself and looking at those things, and then that helps you kind of get that idea in your mind and in your head as far as what do I need to do to keep my house show and list ready. Obviously, you can always call your realtor and you can ask them, hey, what are the things that buyers are looking for, or what are you seeing in the current conditions of the market that buyers are wanting, right? Maybe it's a fenced-in backyard. Maybe it's a large patio in the back with a fire pit. Maybe those little things will add value and entice a buyer to basically come in and make a strong offer like on your house, and for you to top out and get the best money that you can. And then as you address those things, right, those maintenance items, those different things, now address like the things that actually add value to your home, like the kitchen, the countertops, the bathrooms, maybe cabinets need to be painted, floors need to be redone, new tile, those types of things. Those are going to add value, okay? Once you get all that stuff figured out, then you have to ask yourself, okay, how much money do we want to spend to get this into the condition that we want if we think we can get X, Y, Z amount of dollars out of this, okay? That's again why you want to consult with your realtor and say, hey, our neighbors or this house in our neighborhood just sold across the street. It's $20,000, $30,000 more than what we paid for it a couple years ago. Do you think we could get that for our house? That's where you want to trust and rely on that agent. And again, I say this over and over in podcasts all the time. This is why you want an experienced full-time agent, because they're in the market daily. You don't want to work with a part-time agent or someone that just does this as a side hustle on the side. You want somebody that's in the market constantly, and that's probably at least doing, I would say, 15 to 20 transactions a year. If they're not doing more than 20 transactions a year, then you probably need to get a more experienced agent. And I'm just being upfront. I'm being real with you. That's my opinion. Some people may differ from me, but that's what I think, because I think 20 transactions for an agent, a full-time agent, is fairly easy to do if they're working hard. Okay, they should be easily able to do 20 transactions a year, and that's somebody that I would say is knowledgeable, experienced, knows what they're doing, and is in the market day in and day out. So that's someone that you can trust to help you through that process, okay? The next thing that you can do is ask your realtor, hey, do you work with a stager, okay? Because the stager will then come in, and even if you're not ready to put your house on the market, we just did this in our house. I'll be upfront and real with you. We just called one of our stagers and had them come over, and an interior decorator. So that's another person. We called both of those people over to our house, and we said, hey, here's what we're thinking about doing. We don't necessarily know where to shop or where to go or where to find the deals, but here's our budget, and here's what we're willing to do to get our house up to par and basically decorated, right? Like get it to a place where like people come in and they actually feel like it's a home. For the last 2 years, our home has been pretty bare. And so we were like, you know what? We need to get some artwork up on the walls. We need to get some decorating done. We need to get some new furniture in here in different places. And so we just made a budget. And then we went to those people and we said, hey, here's our budget. Show us what you can do with that, you know? And they literally, I'm telling you, they literally went out, they went online, they went to these stores, they gave us an estimate, showed us pictures of everything that they would do in each room and all those different kinds of things, told us what color we should paint the walls if we needed to, paint different pieces of furniture, put up shelving, you know, all that type of stuff. But I'm telling you, like, the moment that they came home and they hung everything and they put everything up, I was like, wow, our house actually looks like a house now. And like, if we needed to sell our house, I think this would be helpful in letting someone see a fully furnished house. So I think that's important too when you're thinking about what do I need to do to keep my house list ready or show ready. You've got those pieces and those parts in place. And then we all know, like, a lot of those things we can either sell with the house, right, and negotiate that and get some more money back from that. Or we can take it with us, you know, or we can sell it, right? So like there's easy ways to obviously entice someone, to give somebody a warm feeling as they come into your home, and keeping your house list ready, show ready, okay? This is why it's important to do these things, okay? Here's what happens too often. What happens too often is I think a lot of us get into our homes, right? We have, sometimes we took the inspection for informational purposes only, and or we looked at some types of things on the inspection and we said, all right, we'll address those items when we get moved in. And then we get into the house and we live there 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and we don't do any of those things, right? So again, as values and everything is going up around us with homes and things like that, we're not making the updates necessary to stay within the trends of what a home buyer is looking for. And so again, you want to keep that in mind as you are in your home and constantly asking yourself, are we keeping our house list ready and show ready? And is there anything in our house that we know we need to update or we know we need to address to take care of that, so we don't deal with those issues or those negative feedback from buyers when they come in through our house? Because that's one of the Debbie Downers of, you know, when you finally do get your house listed, you're excited, you get a whole bunch of traffic through the house, and then nobody writes an offer, and you're like, what the heck, what's going on? Like, the market's crazy, why haven't we got anything? Or you feel like you get a lowball offer. But again, those are buyers that are coming in and they're saying, well, we're going to need to update the carpet, we're going to need to paint the walls, we're going to need to replace the siding, we're going to need to update the bathrooms and the kitchens because they haven't been touched since they bought it, you know, like, and they start adding up all those numbers in their heads, right? And then they compare to the house that sold down the street and those different things, and they see those pictures because, trust me, they're pulling what's sold in the neighborhood as well and what's pending and what's active. people and buyers are going to be looking at that stuff and they're going to say, well, this house down the street sold for $20,000 more and it was like completely gutted and updated throughout. This house needs about $50,000 worth of work, you know? So then they come in and they offer you a lowball offer and you're offended by that, but it's because you didn't make the updates or the things necessary to keep your house show ready while you live there. So then you find yourself in a bind. Do I come down in price or do I make the updates and try to entice that buyer to then finally write an offer where we feel comfortable accepting? So I wanted to address this because it's a conversation that I've been having with a lot of my clients and a lot of past clients, a lot of people that are in their houses, that a lot of people that are have been in their houses for a long period of time. I've got a client right now, they've been in their house for 20 plus years, and we just did a walkthrough of his house, and he's like, I know I got to replace the railing, I know I got to update that, I know I got to replace my carpet, I know I got to replace my master bathroom because we haven't touched that in 20 years, you know, and we're just going on and on down the list. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, man, this is going to be like $50,000 to $60,000, $70,000 of updates that need to get done if you want to sell it at the price that we're talking about. Or it's selling as is, or selling in the condition that it's in, and knowing that you're not going to get what your two neighbors' houses sold for. And that can be the difference of whether or not a seller decides to sell their house because they want a certain amount of money, right? So again, I want to take that stress off of you now. I want you to think about whether you're a seller or someone purchasing a house here in the near future, or someone that has purchased recently, to think about what is it in our house that we would need to do to keep it show ready and list ready. And as the years go on, as you live there, here's an idea for you, is follow the trends that are happening, okay? Like, follow the trends. You watch enough HGTV out there, everybody does, right? And so they know like what types of paint they should be painting the interior of their home. What's a common color right now? For example, like white cabinets, light gray cabinets, navy blue cabinets, like even like I've seen some like green, like this nice warm green cabinets. And then the countertops, right? Like the white countertops with that quartz countertops, right? Those are like the things that are mixed with different colors to match like those cabinets and those floors. And if you're someone like me where you're like, I have no clue what I would put in here, what I would paint, like, again, get a hold of your realtor. They will put you in touch with one of their stagers and their interior designers, and they will connect you with them to help you make those choices, right? A really good realtor, let me tell you this, a really good realtor has a lot of people in their network that are involved with a lot of these things. They have remodelers, they have painters, they have plumbers, they have electricians, they have interior designers, they have stagers, they have doctors, attorneys, all these people. Like, if they're a good real estate agent, they should have a network of trusted people that they can point you to at any given time. Like, that is the value that a realtor should be providing to you. If they're not, find yourself a different realtor that can. And we pride ourselves on that with the Potter Real Estate Group. Like, that's one thing that we're like, man, our network is huge, and it's a trusted network of professionals that we can give to any one of our clients, and they're all people that I would use. Like, house cleaners, yep, I would use them. We have used them. We do use them, right? Like, plumbers, electricians, painters, roofers, doctors, lawyers, like I said, like, all those people we use, okay? So, like, I'm not just giving you someone that shows up in the yellow pages that we just point our finger to and say, hey, give this guy a call. No, these are all people within our network that we trust, that we would give them to. And so that's important too. So utilize that resource, that realtor, for you to help you get your house list ready and show ready. And that's why it's important, because if you end up being that person that waits 15, 20 years to then decide to sell your house and then realize that you haven't made the updates needed, you're going to find yourself in a bind of selling your house as is and taking a lesser value than what you want, or by staying on top of it year in and year out, even making small updates, whether it's painting or replacing flooring or doing some tile in a different room, or just keeping up with the trends. Like, you're going to find yourself in a position to be ready to sell, and it'll sell fast. And that's what we see. Like if your home is constantly in a place where it's move-in ready for any new buyer, then you're ready to go at any given time. And that's what it means to be list ready, show ready. And that's why it's important to do that. So I hope that's answered your guys' questions as it relates to that. And as we've had conversations with a lot of our clients, I thought like this would be a good one to do, just to educate you, inform you guys a little bit on that, and know exactly what you should be doing if you're a buyer or seller in that position. And if you are someone that is in that position right now and you're thinking about buying or selling your home, and maybe you're stuck, or maybe you're contemplating some of these things, give us a call. Let us know. I'll put you in touch with one of my trusted people in our network if you need a stager, an interior designer, or something like that. And if you need a realtor, obviously I'll be there to come over and give my advice through my experience and my knowledge, and what I know about the current market and what buyers are looking for. So if that's you, if you're thinking about buying or selling in the near future, feel free to reach out to us. You know where to find us. You can do it through social media. You can text me. You can give me a call. And you can definitely check us out. Shout out, we're getting a new website here pretty soon, which should be live September, which is in a couple days. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And that is going to be pretty awesome too. It's going to be pottergroupinc.com. So hopefully we'll see you guys there and answer any questions. So you can hit us up through that as well. And you can find all of our stuff on there, resources, my network, like I said, that'll be under Potter's Picks. So that'll be something that you guys can check out too. So with that being said, guys, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good night, and we will talk to you guys soon. And with that being said, thanks again for following us and listening to the podcast. If you have anything that you would like me to cover in the future, topics, questions, different things like that, I'd be more than happy to do a podcast on them or just answer them for you. So hit me up. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for listening. Goodbye. Have a good one. See you guys.